In this first video, I'm going to show you how to get started with Blender. In order to start Blender, click on the magnifying glass or hit Command Space and type in Blender. When you hit return or click on the Blender icon, Blender will launch. In order to get rid of this start window, just click anywhere off of the start window and you will now be in the Blender IDE or Integrated Development Environment. The main feature of this IDE is what's called the 3D viewport. That's this area right here where you can see the 3D world. This world right now is set up to zoom right on 0, 0, 0. And in order to zoom on 0, 0, 0, you use that center mouse scroll wheel or button in the middle, and you can zoom out and zoom in, out and in on the cube right now, which is located at 0, 0, 0. There are three objects in this world. Right now we have the camera, we have a lamp, and we have a cube. In order to select these buttons or these objects, unlike most IDEs, you don't use the left button to select them. The left button actually doesn't select items in Blender. The right mouse button selects items in Blender. I've just selected the camera with the right mouse button, the cube with the right mouse button, and the lamp with the right mouse button. In order to select objects in the 3D viewport, make sure you use the right mouse button. You can also render by going over to this side tab, and it looks like there's a lot in that side tab, but the thing you're going to select with the left mouse button now is the render button. When I click on render, whatever the camera sees, the camera right now is aiming down at this cube with a light source off to the side. It is going to take a picture of, or it's going to render it. Watch what happens when I click on render. It takes a picture of the object. You can see the shadows on this side, the light is on this side, and that is a rendered image. Now in order to get off that rendering, I just click on the escape button or hit the escape key, but I have to be in the 3D viewport. If I hit the escape key when I'm not in the 3D viewport, it will not take me back to the 3D view, but if I am in the 3D viewport, it takes me back. So escape when you're in the 3D viewport. Again, I can zoom and unzoom. Now if you want a challenge, I challenge you to start moving these objects and seeing the impact of that movement on the rendering. For example, I can move along the x-axis, render the image, and you can see the shadow, you can see where the cube is moved, it's moved off to the corner. Again, escape to go back. I can see what happens when I move in the y direction. I'm going to slide back, and I'm going to go down the z direction. And look at that image. Ooh, look at what that does. Now I'm going to move the light so that it's bright up here, and just see the impact of that escape. And I'm going to grab the lamp. I'm going to bring the lamp light source down, or the lamp down. I'm going to bring it over, bring it off to the side here, bring it here, and now it should be brighter in the front. Let's see how that looks. Ooh, look, it's bright in the front. Perfect. Again, render takes a picture from the position of the camera, and you can move the objects by selecting the objects, and then clicking on these little arrows. See, this moves it the X direction when I grab it right here with and as you can see down here, there's a little guide to X, Y, and Z, and I can grab it right here on the X, right here on the Y, right here on the Z, and I can do that again with a different object. So I right click on the lamp, and I can move it in the Z, again Z, Y, and X. I can even move my camera if I want. Take a picture, and that's what my object looks like now. I could move the light source back, so that the light source is now behind the cube, and see the impact that has on it. Oh, now this is in shadow and the bright light is over here. Feel free to experiment with moving the objects, selecting the objects, and zooming in on your 3D viewport.